Right now at 6, Portland teachers on strike for a second day. And now other staff say they're being pushed to take their place.
What they're being asked to do just feels really uncomfortable and not really aligned with their regular job responsibilities.
Plus, new incentives to get people and businesses to come back downtown.
Every little bit helps.
The ideas from the governor's downtown task force that could spur action. And
we're seeing that the impacts of the climate crisis are showing up in our neighborhoods today.
New efforts to combat the effects of climate change in a local community hit hard by the heat dome.
Good evening. We start tonight with a second day of striking in the Portland Public School District and new allegations from staff saying that they're being asked to pick up the slack. Thank you for joining us. I'm China Green.
And I'm David Molko. As teachers picket, the school district is now asking other employees to help students when it comes to reading. Thomas Schultz is live at Lincoln High this evening. Thomas, who is being asked to step in and do this work?
Well, David, we're talking about paraeducators, teaching assistants, and librarian assistants, and those we spoke with today are frustrated and stressed. They say they're being asked to do something they're not qualified for.
I am extremely overwhelmed and uncomfortable.
Charlotte Fisher is a paraeducator in Portland Public Schools. She assists teachers in a life skills class.
So, I teach stuff like hand washing, sneezing into your elbow.
Though now she's being asked to coach kindergartners through third graders on reading. Now, Fisher says she received these reading coach lesson packets alongside other paraeducators, teacher assistants, and librarian assistants on Wednesday. They're expected by the district to be able to reach out to students and help them learn to read by Monday morning. Fisher says some topics they're expected to teach are confusing.
It felt like I needed to have prerequisite classes in order to understand the concepts.
KGW obtained a reading packet given to teaching assistants. We found some tasks are easier, like asking students to read words and phrases and identifying what certain words have in common. Other topics are more in depth, like teaching phonemic awareness, which coaches students on how to emphasize letters.
I didn't know what phonemics are.
Fisher says many topics require more education to tutor. Teachers agree.
These people are expected to do one job, and then here we are, and they are forced into these positions that they're not trained for.
Though the school district says parents don't have to accept coaching.
So we've tried to design a supplemental program that supports their continuation of learning.
PPS says coaching is only on topics students have already studied. It's all an attempt to ensure kids don't fall further behind. Though Fisher feels like she's being used as a wedge in Portland's first ever teacher strike.
We're being used as a divisive tool.
Pretty strong words there, Thomas. We knew students were already scheduled to be off tomorrow. What's the timing looking like on all of this moving forward, both with the teaching assistants there and with negotiations?
Yeah, David, well, there's going to be bargaining tomorrow. There wasn't the past couple of days. A mediator wanted that first session to be tomorrow. Those negotiations could continue into the weekend in hopes that a deal is reached by Monday. Now, in the meantime, those teacher assistants, paraeducators, and librarian assistants are expected to reach out to their students by Friday in hopes of setting up those coaching lessons for Monday.
Yeah, Thomas Schultz outside Lincoln High. Appreciate you staying across all the details for us. Thank you. Well, the strike means that many Portland families are searching for alternative childcare options this weekend, potentially beyond. Organizations are now making space and stepping up, including Portland's Boys and Girls Club and West Side Dance and Gymnastics Academy in Tigard.
So if you're looking for resources, just scan the QR on your screen right now, and that'll take you to our latest list. Of course, we'll be monitoring negotiations and keep you updated as the strike continues, both on air and online at KGW.com.
I'm Catherine Cook in Yamhill County, where workers will strike tomorrow to protest what they call unfair wages. The Yamhill County Employees Association says many workers are unable to afford housing or basic necessities on what they're making now. The county says they've offered 3 substantive counterproposals to try to avoid a strike. Both sides came together today for a mediation session which failed. So workers will be back here in front of the county courthouse tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to strike. Now, for residents, this will impact several county services, including the county health department's vaccination program, the public works department, and also mental health services, among other things. We'll keep you up to date on KGW.com and tonight on KGW News at 11.
All right, let's get to your headlines tonight. 5 football players at McNary High School in Kaiser have been arrested for hazing. Authorities say all 5 are freshmen and are accused of physically harassing and assaulting 4 other freshman players in the boys' locker room at the school. The 5 players now face criminal charges. Salem Kaiser district officials say they have canceled freshman football activities when they first became aware of those allegations. They also alerted police.
New details about a stabbing and carjacking in Seaside that led to a multi-county high-speed chase. Police say the victim, an 80-year-old man, knew his alleged attacker, 18-year-old Isaiah Thompson, and had bought him food several times. Last Thursday night, the victim said he gave Thompson a ride from Astoria to Seaside and let him inside his home to use a shower. That's when police say Thompson demanded his car keys, and when he refused, stabbed him in the chest and beat him with a bike chain and padlock before taking his car. Police recovered a bloody knife while searching for Thompson and say they found a bike chain and padlock in his backpack when they arrested him Tuesday in Washington County. He's now in the Clatsop County Jail facing attempted murder charges.
Alaska Airlines is now facing a class action lawsuit over the off-duty pilot who tried to shut down a passenger plane's engines mid-flight, forcing that aircraft to divert to Portland. Joseph Emerson was riding in the cockpit's jump seat on a flight last month from Everett to San Francisco. He is accused of suddenly trying to shut down the plane's engines and was forced out of the cockpit after a brief struggle. He now faces state and federal charges. Emerson told law enforcement he hadn't slept in about 40 hours and had taken magic mushrooms 2 days prior to the flight, though his lawyer and family said they have no explanation for what happened. The lawsuit alleges breach of duty and asks for unspecified damages, including for emotional distress. We have reached out to Alaska Airlines for a response.
A mother and son from Idaho have been charged with kidnapping after the pair drove the son's underage girlfriend to Bend for an abortion. So according to court documents, the girl became pregnant earlier this year while she was living with the mother and son in the eastern Idaho city of Pocatello. The girl says that she was happy when she found out she was pregnant. However, both the mother and son threatened to kick her out if she didn't get the abortion. Now, the mother says that she did not coerce the girl and that it was a, quote, mutual agreed upon decision. Earlier this year, Idaho passed a law preventing adults from taking minors across state lines for abortions without a parent's permission.
And take a look at this image out of Lake Oswego. The owner of this Audi is without a set of wheels after their car was crushed by a tree branch this morning. This is around 10 on Royce Way near Westridge Elementary. Nobody was inside that vehicle while it was parked and nobody was injured. But as you can see, it is likely totaled. Matt?
Wow, I'm glad nobody was hurt. Ouchie on the Audi, right? All right, outside right now, it's really, really nice out. 64 degrees. We've had some sun. Incredibly warm, 10, 15, 16 degrees warmer than this time last night. And it's Northwest Oregon that is realizing the warming the most. We made it up to 68 around the metro area. That is the warmest place in Oregon. Also a record for this date, tying the record from 1970, as you can see there. But there is a whole lot of rain still in our forecast, just not tonight and not tomorrow morning. But when we look at the satellite imagery, look at this. See the whites and the greens out here? That is moisture-rich air coming out of the subtropics, and it's going to roll right in to Oregon. That's atmospheric river number 2 for this week, and it'll do a lot. Very much like what the first one did last night and early this morning and bring us a lot of rain, but not tonight. It'll be mainly dry overnight tonight, and with the moisture in the air, that may allow some fog to form. Warm again tomorrow, still in the 60s, but more heavy rain Friday night. I'll let you know how much of that bleeds over into the weekend a bit later, guys.
Thanks, Matt. See you in a few. Developing this evening, Vancouver police are looking for a missing mother and her 2 children.
Yeah, 30-year-old Amanda Folston and her 2 kids. 5-year-old Liam and 7-year-old Jesse Tonkin were last seen October 7th in East Vancouver. This is a picture of them on your screen right now. And here is a picture of their mother, Amanda. She has brown eyes, light brown hair. Vancouver police say when the father, who shares custody with the kids, went to get them at this Motel 6 on October 8th, they weren't there. He called 911 to report them missing from the area. Police say they aren't ruling anything out right now, including the possibility that Amanda took the children herself.
If we can't rule that out, then we're going to keep this as a top priority and keep investigating until we can make that determination on what exactly happened.
So if you have any information about where they are, call 911 or Vancouver Police.
New this evening, Governor Kotek's Central City Task Force is now one step closer to solutions that could help revitalize downtown Portland.
Yeah, so let's bring in Blair Best live downtown. Blair, you spoke with 2 people on the task force about a few of the ideas being discussed.
That's right. This is really the first time we're hearing from anyone inside these meetings about what's being discussed. And there are talks of quick solutions along with long-term projects. Now, for some background, it was early August when Governor Tina Kotek created the Portland Central City Task Force. More than 50 people are a part of it, and Monday was their last in-person meeting as a group. Today, we talked with 2 people on the task force, and they tell us there are talks of everything from quick ways to remove graffiti in Old Town to waiving certain taxes for downtown businesses, along with getting rid of parking fees and opening a Portland sobering center. This all in an effort to incentivize people to come back downtown.
I know the meetings are productive. We're coming up with lots of great ideas and really synthesizing down what needs to happen for things to get better in Portland.
Now, these committees will be meeting on their own for the next 6 weeks as they finalize their ideas before presenting them to the Oregon Business Summit in December. Now, you can catch my full report on this coming up at 6:30 on The Story. David, China.
All right, thanks, Blair.